Hey everyone, do you remember where you were on 9/11? I do, because I was sitting right there. I remember we first heard the news. We were leaving our chemistry class and we went out into the hallway and we heard there was the news on in a classroom down the hall. So we jolted down the hall and popped into the room, and like many of you, we saw the world changing.
And we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
And those events deeply impacted all of us. And I remember we were just kids. We were teenagers in high school, sophomores. And even as sophomores in high school, we were realizing that something very, very deeply profound was happening, that things were never going to be the same. Later, it wasn't until that night where things really sank in. I remember watching TV with my dad, just seeing the memorial things and the people, first responders looking for survivors, and all of the amazing images that are just burnt into your memory. For the first time watching with my dad, I remember feeling really emotional, and that feeling sank in that this was real. One thing that I distinctly remember was this feeling of the country really coming together. And I'll tell you what, regardless of where you were politically or spiritually, racially, monetarily, what class you were in, there was like a thing. You guys remember that? There was a thing that everybody was just coming together, because that day, the things that separated us weren't as big as what really brought us together. And this amazing thing happened when we were all Americans. And you could look to your left and to your right and you thought, we're in this together. We're in this together. And churches were filled. People were praying. There was just this amazing outpouring of generosity and service. People were volunteering. People that didn't know anybody were reaching out and asking if they could help them. It was just an amazing thing. And one of the most important things the Bible teaches us is to remember our history, to remember what God has done for you and through you. When the Bible talks about remembering, it's not just talking about recalling it to your mind. It's a call to action. It's a call to what is in your mind and in your heart to act on it. Remember 9/11 isn't just remember what took place that day. It's remember 9/12 and the way that you were, the way that you acted, the way that you talked, the way that you came together, the way that you let your differences go to the side. Remember, not just in your mind, but be different. We also have this amazing responsibility to teach our children and those in our care what God did for us. To not just have it be head knowledge, but for it to go from here all the way down to here and into here. That we are being something. We are doing something with what we know. It's our job to remember that a great, great thing has been accomplished for us in the salvation that Jesus Christ purchased with his own blood for us when we didn't deserve it. So as we recall 9/11, and as we recall 9/12, we also want to think back to that time when God saved us, and remember that time, how we were, who we were, and what we're called to, and encourage one another to walk out that life every single day. It's up to us to teach these kids. So if we don't teach them, who will?